Club ARK has arrived, offering new ways to earn loot and take straight back to your main playthrough. And with armour, weapons and saddles up for grabs right up to tech tier, we needed to find out, is this a possible new meta in farming gear versus the time to find it on your main map playthroughs, and how hard is it to obtain the top tier tech items? So don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and let's get into it. So all gear is rewarded in the form of mystery boxes a few Call of Duty fans might be familiar with, each offering a chance to roll a saddle, piece of armour or weapon from their respective box. Either box you choose will all cost 1000 tokens with each roll, and with a giant loot table for a chance to obtain tech, you're gonna need a lot of tokens. So how do you earn them? At launch, 1 Bob's Story mission and 2 minigame missions are available to play via either the Bounty Hunter's house or simply via your in-game menu. Suspected for more to be included in the future, all 3 offer a variety of token values upon completion, with varying difficulty in both the missions themselves and a scaling choice from Gamma to Alpha, with the latter, as you'd expect, rewarding more. All currently are very skill-based, needing some practice to beat, and all ramp up the difficulty if playing in a group. But testing it purely solo, which is the best one to earn tokens from? The easiest on the list, Lasso game, requires you to run around on an Equus, lassoing sheep, and with each 5 taking to one of 3 checkpoints, all the whilst being stalked by angry red sheep trying to kill you, which can be avoided if you keep on the move and can allow you to heal up between hits. Just beware not to lasso one or your 5 counter will reset, needing to lasso another 5 again. If not used to it, it can take a short time to get used to lassoing whilst riding in first person, hearing it's much more difficult on console, but jumping will help a lot to keep ahead from the angry flock. Gamma rewards 250 tokens, which we did in 2 minutes 40 with plenty of time to spare. Beta gives you 1000 tokens, and we did this in 4 minutes, though we did mess up a few times along the way, and maybe we can cut that time down a little bit more. Alpha bags us 2000 tokens, which we did in 5 minutes, close to the deadline, but we did mess up a few times along the way. Whac-a-Dodo is the simple affair of shooting dodos that pop their heads out of the ground, scoring points whilst avoiding shooting poop and needing a second shot to blow them up, and any life lost from a kamikaze dodo can be totted back up by shooting a snail. Once hitting the point criteria, Dodozilla makes an appearance, needing you to gather dodo bombs to launch at it before it eventually sinks back into the ground to repeat again. Whilst hitting poop can negate the score, it's better to just spam shoot with the dodos rapidly disappearing, and much easier in third person. Gamma gives us 600 tokens that we did in 4 minutes with 2 waves and pretty easy to do. Beta gave us 2400 tokens, which we did in 5 minutes, but it really ramps up needing to be on the move with 2 waves once again and a small chance of losing. Alpha bags us 4800 tokens, which we did in 10 minutes, though it's pretty bloody brutal, needing you to keep running and jumping at all times, leaving 1 false move to quickly end your run and 3 waves to do this one in. And finally, the story mission Train Robbery is a pretty cool treat, with cutscenes dividing all 3 stages, kicking off on a horse needing to shoot the train's carriages and dynamite off gates within your path, whilst avoiding carnage will launch you into stage 2, running along the train needing to shoot or slash NPCs and plant X through to the front of the train, where you'll then need to defend against an onslaught of Argies, Moths, Phoenix and Death Worms, needing to blow up the final boss with a well-aimed shot at the dynamite around it. First round is simple enough, jump to gain some speed and focus on the carriages. It's possible to run most of the second section with a sword on Gamma, but make sure to grab all the loot you can, including the long neck being the best weapon for the third and final stage. Gamma gives you 1000 tokens, and I'm embarrassed to say I did fail this once or twice, but with a few practice runs I managed to do this and did it in 7 minutes 15. Beta gives you 4,000 tokens, with the first stage still being pretty easy, but the second stage is really tight on time, making sure to use your sword as often as possible and get every med brew you can, because the final stage, it's possible to hug the front of the train, snipe everything and just solely focus on the dynamite at the end, healing yourself up throughout, and as you can see, we beat it with an inch of our life in 8 minutes. But Alpha, rewarding a massive 8,000 tokens, is incredibly tough, needing perfect timing, skill and knowledge of every box in the second stage, with an even tighter time to beat whilst stocking up on health brews for the final stage. And it's certainly possible, but will need a lot of practice to perfect, and also doable in 8 minutes. So, what's the best way to farm tokens? Let's do some math. Obviously, this is based on my times playing solo, but how many tokens can we get within 1 hour? Lasso game on Gamma, we can get 5,625 tokens per hour, Beta 15,000 tokens per hour, and Alpha 24,000 tokens per hour. Whac-a-Dodo on Gamma, we can get 9,000 tokens per hour, Beta 28,800 tokens per hour with a small chance of fail, and Alpha 28,800 tokens per hour with a medium to high chance of fail. Train Robbery on Gamma, 8,000 tokens per hour with a maybe small chance of fail. Beta, 30,000 tokens per hour with a definite medium chance of fail. And Alpha, a whopping 60,000 tokens per hour, but definitely with a high chance of fail. So obviously Alpha Train Robbery was always going to come up trumps, but the fact is, it's pretty hard to flawlessly run it every time, and definitely needing you to get good. So anyone looking for a lesser challenge might want to entertain farming Beta Whac-a-Dodo for a higher chance of success. It's all skill based end of the day, so it's really down to you what makes you more comfortable to earn without losing your head. So we finally earned our hundreds of thousands of tokens to spend on our mystery boxes, and hitting the saddle box first, we can see random qualities being offered, with each offering a thought: if or when tech items drop, do they drop with a quality too? But as you can see, we began to roll a lot without grabbing anything tech, needing to travel back to our map every time we hit the max limit of 50 to download there and return back. Getting into the hundreds, I began to wonder if I needed tech grams or something, feeling like it was skipping tech, but then realised you can't download a character, meaning anything rewarded in Club ARK is tied to your upload, which also means you can log onto any server within your cluster and your tokens should carry over to that too. Pretty clever stuff. But anyway, just as I was giving up hope, we finally rolled a Shasta saddle. Okay, not quite a tech gram, but you know, gave some hope, which I almost nearly gave up on, hitting the record button just in time to catch our Tech Rex saddle reward. So after 249 rolls, meaning 249,000 tokens or 32 successful runs of Alpha Train Robbery, you can nab yourself a tech saddle. Still, only primitive and RNG be RNG, meaning you could get this or any other tech saddle earlier, but what else did we exactly get? Going through our vault, we got 28 Ascendant saddles, some decent Rex ones, Thylers, Gigantoraptor, Rhinonathers and Rock Golems, with 45 Mastercraft saddles, some more Rex, but notably Karka and Giga saddles in these, 67 Journey saddles, 66 Apprentice, one being that Shasta saddle, and 13 Primitive, with no blueprints as expected, but with armor having a higher chance to reward tech and having a smaller loot table on top, we moved on to this next, and it certainly provided. Only 16 rolls in, we got tech leggings, so only a piddly 16,000 tokens or 2 successful runs of Train Robbery, with no Ascendant gear rewarded yet though, and noting that the Riot pieces we got were in the high 200s, we carried on with another 50 spins, rewarding us with yet another piece of tech, as well as a bootless Ascendant flak set of 7 drops, but made in Mastercraft with 11 drops, 16 Journey, 13 App, 2 Ramshackle, and thankfully no Prim. And again, no BPs. But onto weapons now, and expecting a lesser chance of getting tech still. turned around some surprising results with some top tier chainsaws off the bat, considering they're a valuable start for any ARK playthrough, as well as cannons, which you could break down for some chunky metal starting out on a server. And only 35 rolls in, we got our first tech. Okay, it's only tech grenades, not the best, but you know, we carried on and we rolled on to nab a tech turret, 25 rolls in, and finally, 78 rolls, 78,000 tokens, or 10 runs of Alpha Train Robbery later, the tech rifle. But what about ammo? Is it any good starting this before any map with no bullets to shoot with? Well, there's none exactly to roll for, but you can play for the resources to make them too, noting black pearls being on the list, though 5 at a time, with lots of 50 gunpowder and surprisingly 50 substrate. No element as expected, and you'll need to have unlocked the techgram to use any tech, but is it worth running this for your tech gear over farming on your maps? The cop-out answer is it really depends on where you are on your map playthrough, but starting out especially, it's an absolute win to get on your feet, and well before you really should. And did you agree? Comment below, let me know. My name's Raasclark, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and as always, peace out.